Greetings everyone, this is Ray Ray. I am back with a short video because people are confused about what's going on out here. But first, this book that you see is a book that I am going to be purchasing. Okay, and I suggest you do the same thing because I'm hearing a lot of people compare socialism to paying higher taxes. And that's something that we've always done. Higher taxes, lower taxes. We've always had that debate, and either way, the taxes are either higher or lower for some people. So socialism isn't about, raising taxes. Okay, so please get that out your mind. Get this book. If you are a person that needs to read by complexion, this is a melanated author. He is from the land of India. Okay, but he's an American citizen, and he knows very well about socialism because he comes from a caste system. India functions off a caste system. Their government uses caste, as a way to decide who the winners and losers are. Okay, and a quick example of that would be if you are born to a family of farmers, then you will be restricted to marrying a farmer's daughter. Okay, and that will be, the only type of woman that you can marry, or the only type of man you can marry, will come from a farming family, because that's the class that you belong to. If you're born into high society, then you will have, a better variety, of choice, because they don't want to mix the two classes together, because they feel like it's going to somehow taint them by mixing with people who they feel are less educated, impoverished, dirt up under the fingernails, that type of thing. And they don't want to incorporate that with them. That's their views, and they're entitled to have their views. The way I feel is completely different, but I'm not going to get into all the way, of how I feel. Okay, because that's not what this is about. All right, but that was just a quick example to explain, another way that governments, use socialism on the people, and they try to dress it up in a different way. Like, oh, no, this is just caste. We just do this. And meanwhile, the people there are really, really suffering. A lot of children are victim to sex trafficking and labor trafficking in India, due to this caste system or whatever. And a lot of people are left impoverished, and it's a struggle every day. You got children who, instead of going to school, are out looking for scrap, to help feed their family. So these are the type of things that go on under this socialism stuff. So as Americans are so eager to rush in the door, all you liberals and Democrats who are so ready to rush through the door, I think this is a good book for you to read, and you need to do some more research on socialism, because it's not about taxes. Now on to what this video was really about. And this is about explaining to the people why these corporations are doling out so much money. A lot of people are very confused about why they are doling out money, because they don't watch C-SPAN. Okay, had you watched C-SPAN a little bit more frequently, you would have saw the hearing that was conducted by Congress, and the name of that hearing was called the Facebook, Amazon, Google, and Apple Congress. It was an antitrust hearing. I'm sorry for reading all that. The antitrust hearing that was conducted. And I'm going to play a little bit of the audio so that you can understand that this is a huge shakedown. These things that you're about to hear will land anybody in prison. Nobody would be able to get away with any of the things going on in this audio that I'm about to play for you. And there's no copyright infringement, because this was on public television. C-SPAN, all the channels picked this up, so there's no copyright infringement on this. But I'm definitely going to play some of the audio, and the reason why I'm playing the audio to you is because I feel like the Democrats, and probably Republicans too, are doing what we should have done, as the people, and that we should have been getting this money put directly into our hands, because we are the ones that they are victimizing. Now, as an inventor myself, these things scared the heck out of me, because while I'm worried about China, duplicating, here they are on American soil, already on your neck. So I'm going to play this audio, and I hope that you understand from the audio why these people are able to get all of this money out of the people, why these organizations are doling out millions of dollars senselessly right? Senselessly, because you're asking yourself, well, how is that really going to help the community? How is that going to help the public? And how is that even going to reach the public? Well, they're doing this because they're being allegedly commanded to do this, to fulfill people's fantasies, because they kind of have them by the balls, which we could have done, but we chose not to, because we don't pay attention to things like this. So I'm going to play this audio for you. You should have watched this. If you haven't, I'm not putting the video in the description box because nobody put no money in my Cash App. I had a few people, and that's a lie. Some people did put money in my Cash App, but not enough people. Okay, so I do what I can. I'm an inventor. I was on here for a long time without, asking for any donations or anything like that. So, I put my neck on the line. Everything that I said. Okay, so let me play this audio for you.
You referred to third-party sellers today as Amazon's partners and that your success depends on their success. But over the past year, we've heard a completely different story. As part of this investigation, we've interviewed many small businesses, and they use the words like bullying, fear, and panic to describe their relationship with Amazon. I'm going to share the story of a small business owner who is also a wife and a mother, so you can understand how this is actually affecting the lives of everyday people and why this truly matters.
We were a top bookseller on Amazon.com, and we worked day and night very hard towards growing our business and maintaining a 5-star feedback rating. Most importantly, this business feeds a total of 14 people, which includes 3 children and one 90-year-old granny. And as we grew, we were shrinking Amazon's market share in the textbooks category. So now in retaliation, Amazon started restricting us from selling. They started with a few titles in early 2019, and within 6 months, Amazon systematically blocked us from selling the full textbook category. We haven't sold a single book from the past 10 months or probably more. We were never given a reason. Amazon didn't even provide us with a notice as to why we were being restricted. There was no warning. There was no plan.
So, Mr. Bezos, after Amazon just delisted the small business without any apparent reason or notice, she told us that they sent more than 500 separate communications to Amazon, including to you, Mr. Bezos, over the past year. There was not a single meaningful response. Do you think this is an acceptable way to treat someone that you described as both a partner and a customer?
No, Congresswoman, and I appreciate you showing me that anecdote, and I would like to talk to her. It does not at all to me seem like the right way to treat her, and I'm surprised by that. And it's not the systematic approach that we take, I can assure you. I don't even understand what's going on in that anecdote, because we would love for third-party sellers to sell books on the website.
Sir.
So I don't understand it, but I would like to understand it better. And with your permission, I would like to get in touch with your office.
I think, though, that you're missing the point. This is not just about one business. I'm concerned that this is a pattern of behavior, and basically this pattern of behavior has to change. Mr. Bezos, my question is simply, are you willing to make sure going forward that, the numerous sellers that we've talked to, they have problems just like this? And there are more sellers who've told us that they've exhausted all of their options before finally reaching out to you directly as a last resort, but they're still waiting for your response. So what do you have to say to the small businesses who are talking to Congress because you simply won't listen to them?
Well, I say that's not acceptable. If we aren't listening to you, I'm not happy about that at all. But I would, if you allow me to disagree a little bit with a piece of this, I do not think that's systematically what's going on. And the evidence that I would suggest would be useful for you to consider in that regard is that third-party sellers in aggregate are doing extremely well on Amazon. They grew from 20 years ago it was 0. And today, it's 60% of sales. Third-party sellers are growing even faster than first-party retail.
Mr. Bezos, thank you so much. You said that sellers have many other attractive options to reach customers, but that's not at all what we found in our investigation. According to eMarketer, a source Amazon cited in submissions to this committee, Amazon has nearly 7 times the market share of its closest e-commerce competitor. One seller told us that, and I quote, Amazon continues to be the only show in town. No matter how angry sellers get, they have nowhere else to go. So are you saying that these people aren't being truthful when they say that Amazon is the only game in town?
Yeah, Congresswoman, with great respect, I do disagree with that. I believe that there are a lot of options. And some of them are not even listed on that chart. I just looked at it briefly, but I didn't see some that I know of, for example. So I think there are a lot of things.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you for that.
There's more and
Mr.
more every
Bezos,
day.
my time is short. If Amazon didn't have monopoly power over these sellers, do you think they would choose to stay in a relationship that is characterized by bullying, fear, and panic?
With all respect, Congresswoman, I do not accept the premise of your question. That is not how we operate the business.
All right.
And in fact, we work very hard to
Thank
provide
you for that. Thank
fantastic
you for
tools
that.
for sellers, and that's why they've been successful.
Thank you for that. Mr. Bezos, I'm going to close with giving the bookseller the opportunity to finally be heard by you.
Stop. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the audio, but this is very important. Please listen to what this woman says. This woman was selling a book, and she explains how her whole family was involved, and they were having great success. And allegedly, because I don't have the audio right here, Amazon continued to sell this woman's book and profit off of the book. Okay, allegedly. Now, there was a few people who were having this problem, so this might not be the same woman, but there was definitely a bookseller who said that Amazon had, stopped also communicating with them and continued to sell their book and profit off of it, and they weren't making any money off the book. This could be the same person, but let me just get back to the audio.
Mr. Bezos, we increased our sales on Amazon by 5 times in the past 3 years. And we have contributed that much of proportional seller fees to Amazon. We have contributed that much to your business to 5 times. We followed all the rules that were set by you. We please, just help us in earning a livelihood. We beg you. There are 14 lives at stake. Please, please, please help us get back on track.
With that, I yield back the balance of my time.
I thank the gentlelady. We've now concluded our first round. I now recognize myself for 5 minutes. Mr. Bezos, according to your testimony, the marketplace is competitive, but Amazon controls as much as 75% of all online marketplace sales. And eMarketer, a source you cited to us in submissions to this committee, reports that Amazon has nearly 7 times the market share of its closest competitor. Isn't it true that small businesses have no real option but to rely on Amazon to connect with customers and make online sales?
No, sir. With great respect, I do have a different opinion on that. I believe there are a lot of options for small sellers. I believe Amazon is a great one, and we've worked very hard. I think we are the best one.
Well,
we
Mr.
have
Bezos,
a lot of different programs that help sellers, but we
Thank
are
you.
not the only option.
There are 2.2 million active sellers as of yesterday. About 37% of those sellers rely on Amazon as their sole source of income. That is over 800,000 people relying on Amazon to feed their families, put their kids through school, and keep a roof over their heads. Mr. Bezos, you have referred to third-party sellers as both your partners and customers. But isn't it true that Amazon refers to third-party sellers as internal competitors?
I think it wouldn't surprise me. In some ways, we are competing, and they're also competing with each other.
Well, that's right. Your
The
own
marketplace
documents,
does allow that.
Mr. Bezos, Amazon's own documents that you produce refer to the very same sellers that you've described as Amazon partners as internal competitors. In fact, we've heard...
Stop. And what they do is they sell products from other countries. They do that, and you will think that you're buying from America as well, buying from a seller in America, and you'll be buying from someone in another country. I've bought things from Amazon, and I got caught up like that. My things had to go through customs and all of that, because usually when I was buying things, they would be coming from New Jersey. But all of a sudden, for some reason, I started buying things, and they were coming from China. So now I know when I'm buying things to make sure I really, really pay attention to who the seller is. So they have all kind of tricky ways that they do certain things when they want to, block a seller out. And they also get goods at their warehouse prices. So how can you provide a space for someone to sell on and then bring your own products and compete with them through pricing? So back to the commentary, the audio, I mean.
From third-party sellers again and again during the course of the investigation that Amazon is the only game in town. One small business owner we interviewed described it this way, and I quote, "We're stuck. We don't have a choice but to sell through Amazon." Another said, and I quote, "They've never been a great partner, but you have to work with them." During this investigation, we have heard so many heartbreaking stories of small businesses who sunk significant time and resources into building a business and selling on Amazon, only to have Amazon poach their best-selling items and drive them out of business. So I want to talk to you about one company that really stood out from the rest. I want you to pay close attention to how they describe your partnership, Mr. Bezos. We heard from a small apparel company that makes and sells what they call useful apparel for people who work on their feet and with their hands, like construction workers and firefighters. This particular business discovered and started selling a unique item that had never been a top seller for the brand. They were making about $60,000 a year on just this one item. One day they woke up and found that Amazon had started listing the exact same product, causing their sales to go to zero overnight. Amazon had undercut their price, setting it below what the manufacturer would generally allow it to be sold, so that even if they wanted to, they couldn't match the price. Here's how the apparel company described working with Amazon, and I quote, "Amazon strings you along for a while because it feels so good to get that paycheck every week. And in the past, for lack of a better term, we called it Amazon heroin, because you just kept going and you had to get your next fix, your next check. But at the end of the day, you find out that this person who was seemingly benefiting you, making you feel good, was just ultimately going to be your downfall," end quote. So Mr. Bezos, this is one of your partners. Why on earth would they compare your company to a drug dealer?
Sir, I have great respect for you.
Wow, fire. That's the bomb right there. Woo. Let's hear what he says.
In this committee, but I completely disagree with that characterization. What we have done is create in the store a place. If you go back in time, we sold only our own inventory. It was a very controversial decision inside the company to invite third-party sellers to come into what is really our most valuable retail real estate, our product detail pages. We did that because we were convinced that it would be better for the consumer. It would be better for the
Mr.
customer.
Bezos.
No, what they did was came in and cut your throat. They got all the competition into one area, right? They got all the competition to come over to you. Just like in the music business. Say you're a music label. I get everybody to come over me. Everybody that's hot. Come over here. Sign to me. Sign to me. Sign to me. Sign to me. And when I get you there, yeah, I let you rock for a little while. And then I shut you down so I could put out my product. See? And that's what Jeff Bezos did. This is what goes on in the music industry. Like, this is just what Big Corp does. All right? But I just feel like, again, we should have took advantage of this because this is us. We're the ones spending all the money over there. And these are our people that they're doing this to. You know, I'm horrified as an inventor. The last thing I want to think is that I'm going to get undercut overseas and on my homeland. You know, that's a terrifying thing. And that's heartbreaking to do that to somebody. Oh, yeah, set them up a little bit. Let them make a little bit of money. And then we just snatch everything away from them. For something that they invented, they put it on the market. And that they paid you to sell. You know, because you have to pay these fees to, you know, sell on Amazon. You don't just go to Amazon, hey, I want to sell something. No, you have to pay to sell on there. And like the woman said previously, they have contracts that you have to abide by in order to sell on Amazon. So it's a whole big thing. And then for them to turn around and do that to you, you know, undercut you like that. There's some more footage on it, but I can't find it. There was a guy who made some kind of a toy. And there was text messaging between them. And they have these text messages. And in the text messages, the guy was, you know, complaining. And he was basically told by Bezos that, you know, let me say allegedly because I don't know word for word. Allegedly, he said, you know, if you keep kind of complaining and making trouble, we'll just knock your product, your invention off completely. And we'll just, you know, duplicate it and sell it anyway. And just cut you out of it, even though this guy created it. So whatever it was, he wanted more money or whatever it was that was going on. Or he realized what was going on with his product, that they were selling some of his product and some of theirs. some of his, like in a drug addict, a drug dealer would get in trouble for this, right? A drug dealer may have his own little stash of work, right? And then he's supposed to be selling drugs for the big guy. But, you know, he's like, hey, I'm going to make some money on my own. And he's selling his own stuff over here. And, you know, he's coming up short with the big guy. So it's a problem here. You know, so I don't even know why I went into that because I just confused myself. But anyway, basically what I'm trying to say, they got the competition in a chokehold in a spot where they couldn't do anything to really defend themselves. And that's illegal. It's illegal. They misrepresented themselves by saying, hey, come over here. This is a space for you to sell. And then when they get there, they're going to compete with you. You should have been made fully aware that, hey, we are going to be competing with you, but this is a space that you can still come in and sell. Okay, but they have no right. That's illegal to just duplicate somebody's product, and everything they did is illegal. Facebook, you know, you have to go through and watch the whole thing. Google, everything they did. Google, oh man, I'm not going to even talk about it because then they're going to say I'm scamming or something like that and take the video down. But wow, if we paid attention to this, we would move better. We will move better. It would do you good to watch C-SPAN, black people. I don't know where you're at, but get off of BET and watch C-SPAN in these hearings. Sometimes you learn a lot. Any other person who owned a company who did anything like this, I mean, look at not Ben Bernanke. That was our former federal financial officer or whatever. Who's the guy that did the scam? Whatever his name is. Madoff. Madoff. Isn't he still in jail? He's still in jail. He's going to die in jail. So, like, usually people, when they catch you doing things, they throw you in jail. Why aren't these people in jail when they have all the evidence of them conniving, of them manipulating, of them bullying, of them duplicating things illegally, you know, bullying people into, like, selling companies to them so that, you know, making it whereas, hey, if you don't sell to us, we're just going to ruin you. You know, that's some of kind of what Facebook was doing. A lot of stuff was going on. And the government has all of this. And what they are doing, and allegedly, and in my personal opinion, is that they're just shaking them down. Like, put $1 million over here. Put $500 million over here. That's why they keep doling out all these money. Because a lot of these people are caught. They have all the evidence, and they could just put them in jail. But instead, it's like the Democrats say, okay, we're going to financially ruin these people. But the money that they're putting it in their own democratic liberal causes. There's no conservative causes. There's no reviving of the the platinum plan. There's no, you know, we don't hear anything like this. So, you know, they're just putting it in their own little causes and feeding themselves. So at the end of the day, pay attention to what's going on around you. Get some food boxes. Inflation is going up. We talked about this on the floor. I do the show. We do it, you know, every Thursday. Or put, you know, whatever. You can catch it over there on CK's channel. That is, oh my God, I forgot, but I'll put in the link. Shout out to CK or whatever. You know how I function. I got a million things going on, but yeah, definitely, you know, pay attention. You know, before you go down, because we're going deeper and deeper into this thing here. They're using the children now. They got children on that border being sexually assaulted. Nobody's doing anything about it. Children. They have special needs children out there that they have no type of care for. These children are far away from home. It's my personal opinion that any parent that will put their child through that is a complete scumbag. Complete scumbag. And as they showed up to collect their children, there will be a jail cell waiting for them, because that's what they do to us over here. You know, not too long ago in the Bronx, there was a little black girl, you know, wandering around, and everybody wanted to kill her mother. Everybody wanted to throw her mother in jail, but I don't feel that same type of energy for these parents who do allow their children to come across like this, knowing that their children will be raped and kidnapped and brutalized and, you know, just really have traumatic experiences. So I'm Ray, guys. I'm out. Go check out the Big Mouth Shorty channel. I like to, you know, have a little fun over there before I really leave YouTube. I know I keep saying that, like, yeah, right, she leaving, but I really am going to leave. A lot of these videos are going to come down. You know, I did my best to try to inform the public. I was blocked a little bit, and a lot of black people just, you know, weren't on the type of messaging that I was delivering. It's, you know, a lot simpler to escape when you get on social media and just, like, kind of tunnel into, you know, foolishness or just entertaining stuff and trying to get away from reality. But when you do that, you're only putting a bigger hole in your ship, and you will surely sink. So I'm Ray, guys. I like to bring awareness through conversation in hopes that it sparks change, and I'm out.